The girl was reluctantly soaking in a bath with a group of men. As more and more people arrived, she awkwardly huddled in the corner. When it was time to change clothes, she found the male knights all had magnificent changing rooms, but as a girl, she could only go to a small dark room temporarily converted from a storage room. Nevertheless, she still stubbornly recommended herself to the stable owners, saying,
"So, will you give me a ride or not?"
That depends on whether you give me one.
The smile on her face instantly froze. As a newcomer, she thought that with her abilities, she would find someone who appreciates her. However, in reality, people only focused on her appearance. Despite facing so much prejudice, what kept her going was the seemingly unreachable dream in her heart. The girl's name was Michelle. She was born into a horse racing family but lost her mother in a car accident when she was 6 months old, leaving her father to take care of 10 children. As the youngest sister in the family, Michelle was not treated well by her siblings but became the target of their bullying. On this day, Michelle was once again being bullied by her siblings one after another. Filled with anger, she directly cursed at them and then walked outside with a shovel. Her father quickly caught up and asked,
"Where are you going with that?"
"I'm going to dig up Mum."
She said if her mother were here, she would never allow her siblings to pull her hair. The father looked at his angry and sad daughter, not knowing how to comfort her, so he started asking her questions about horse racing.
"Melbourne Cup 1965.
Light fingers.
Seeing that her daughter's mood improved, the father finally showed a smile. Michelle always dreamed of winning the Melbourne Cup, the grandest horse racing event in the world. Horse racing had always been a dangerous sport dominated by men, and for over 150 years, no woman has ever won the Melbourne Cup. So Michelle's dream seemed like an impossible dream. However, once she set her mind on it, she would do anything to make her dream come true. To pursue her dream, she even slept in the stable. Her father couldn't do anything about his determined daughter, so he finally allowed her to ride on horseback. Michelle was extremely happy. The break of dawn arrived. Michelle galloped on her horse, bravely heading towards the light of hope. It was as beautiful as a painting. The towering tree named Dream in her heart silently grew stronger and stronger. However, her father did not have high hopes for her. He already had 5 kids who had become professional jockeys. Michelle's talents were not worth mentioning comparing to them. Moreover, whenever there was a major competition, it was always the boys from the family who took the lead. In this competition, all 5 children from the family participated. In the end, the eldest sister, who had excellent equestrian skills, took first place. However, the father said that if her brother, who came in second place, ran a few more races, he could participate in the Melbourne Cup. Michelle immediately defended her sister Bridget. Why did their father choose the less talented brother Patrick to compete instead of the more talented Bridget? Her brother Stevie, who had Down syndrome, revealed the truth: girls don't ride the Melbourne Cup. This was the first time young Michelle experienced the gender inequality in society and in horse racing. In 1991, the Melbourne Cup was held as scheduled. At school, the teacher took the children to watch the live broadcast of the horse race in the classroom. The signal was not good, so the teacher held up an antenna for the children to watch. This showed how much they loved horse racing in that area. When the race began, Michelle's brother Patrick took a commanding lead but ended up in last place. After school, Michelle angrily asked her father why the horse that was leading ended up being last. Her father explained that it was because Patrick chose the wrong time to sprint. "Anyway, you can go from first to last. There is no reason you can't go from last to first," her father said. Michelle looked at her father, somewhat understanding. 10 years passed and Michelle grew up. She had not given up her love for horse racing. In order to listen to her older sister's races, she even skipped class and hid in the bathroom. The teacher discovered this and advised her earnestly. All 5 sisters in their family had given up their education for horse racing, and she didn't want to see Michelle drop out just for a job that paid only $5 per hour too. But Michelle eventually decided to drop out of school. She firmly believed that becoming a professional jockey was the path she must choose. Her father, not surprised by her decision, seemed that all of his children were destined to walk this path. In the daily training sessions, her father didn't see any outstanding talent in Michelle. She only had diligence to rely on. Her father taught her a lot about horse racing, such as familiarizing herself with the dryness and wetness of the grass before a race, as the hardness of the turf affected the speed of the horses. The horse's heart determined its endurance. Most importantly, she had to use her heart to feel the exhaustion of each horse and choose the best moment to sprint. Michelle listened attentively, remembering every piece of knowledge her father imparted. A few days later, she had her first race. She gave it her all but ended up last. On the way back, Michelle felt that she made the same mistake as her brother Patrick, not seizing the fleeting moment to sprint. Her father, however, said that maybe Michelle just didn't have talent. But she was not discouraged. She became more determined. She trained hard and soon had her second, third, and fourth races, but each time she finished in last place. It was only in her fifth race that she continuously recited her father's teachings, feeling the heartbeat and rhythm of the horse. This time, she finally accurately seized the best moment to sprint and won her first championship in her life. However, just as Michelle was immersed in joy, she received the news that her sister had a fatal fall during a race. Her sister was the second professional female jockey in the country and Michelle's idol, and she had left her family forever in this way. 2 years passed, and one day, Michelle suddenly told her father that she wanted to participate in formal races like her brothers. But her father, who had just experienced the pain of losing a daughter, was not willing to see his youngest daughter repeat the same path. He directly refused, saying she still had 1 year left in her apprenticeship. Michelle pleaded with her father, but all she got was refusal. As she watched her father's resolute figure, Michelle could no longer hold back her tears. In her anger, she decided to run away from home and pursue her dreams at the racetrack. Stevie, her beloved brother, and her father, who was hiding behind the window, bid her farewell at the gate. Michelle's eyes were filled with reluctance, but she resolutely started the car. When she arrived at the racetrack for the first time, she was filled with excitement. As she watched the horses passing by, Michelle felt that even the air was sweet. However, when she tried to find a job related to horse racing, she was met with prejudiced looks. She waited day after day, but no one was willing to give her a chance. Seeing her former underachieving teammates and horse owners chatting, she felt bitterness in her heart. Moreover, a male jockey openly made inappropriate comments about her. Michelle could no longer tolerate it and ran to the entrance, stealing a racehorse and demonstrating her superb riding skills. Everyone in the crowd was amazed. She thought that she would finally be recognized by everyone with her abilities, but in reality, those men were only watching her body. When her father found out, he felt both heartbroken and helpless for his stubborn little daughter. So he found his friend Mary to be her agent. And that's how Mary became Michelle's agent and started making calls to various racecourse owners. However, no one was willing to accept a female jockey. After countless rejections, a low-level league horse owner who couldn't find a male jockey gave her a chance. In the following days, Michelle would wake up at 3 a.m. to train, even when she was exhausted. She never complained. Finally, after winning one race after another, she succeeded in entering the top league. However, her father, using work as an excuse, still refused to answer her calls. Michelle felt extremely disappointed. Little did she know that her taciturn father had been silently following her races all along. And her brother Stevie never missed a game and always showed up to support her. In this particular race, Michelle got a landslide victory. Her outstanding performance earned recognition from a high-level racecourse who invited her to participate in a group match for the Melbourne Cup. However, the condition was that Michelle needed to lose 6 kilograms within 3 days and reach 100 pounds. Her agent initially wanted to refuse, but how could Michelle easily let go of such a great opportunity? So she started training like there was no tomorrow. She even forgot to change out of her sport pants at her sister's wedding. During the wedding, the father gave a speech and said he had a very hardworking child. Michelle thought her father was talking about her. However, her father was actually referring to her brother, who had Down syndrome but had found a full-time job as a stableman through hard work. Michelle genuinely felt happy for her brother, even though she also wanted her father's recognition. In order to control her diet, Michelle even refused to eat anything at the wedding. When her brother heard that she had to lose 6 kilograms by tomorrow, he laughed and said she must be out of her mind.